World peace appears to be one of the biggest scams going. A lot of people getting really rich off of claiming to want to work towards world peace. And I've made a few phone calls to some of these organizations. And, if you notice the same thing as I notice, generally, if you have a project, you have an end result of what you're looking for. You actually have a description. And I don't have anybody that's working for world peace that actually has a description of what they want to accomplish. And does their description, if they even have one, really look like world peace? Or do they just want to solve one little problem and they never seem to accomplish the problems that they claim want to solve? Now, also, with any project that you want to accomplish, any goal you want to accomplish, generally there's a timeline. There's, a time in which you want to accomplish what you're setting out to do. And that's where you see, what does it need? What does this problem need? What are the requirements to make this happen? And anybody, any organization that's claiming to want to create world peace, they don't have an end result, they have no business plan, they have no time frame, and they have no requirements that they're even trying to overcome. There's no milestone to even see that they're accomplishing the goals that they want to accomplish. And I mean, I've done a lot of work on this because as I tried to solve my problems while being personally responsible and recognizing that all problems that I experience are coming from me, none of this would work unless the whole friggin' planet was doing the same thing, because we're not recognizing how we interact with each other. For me, example, I can never solve all of the problems that I'm dealing with, because part of the problem that I deal with is knowing that there's somebody suffering and I can't do anything to help them. I find it a problem to know that there's a child out there being sexually abused. I find it a problem that some kids on this planet are going hungry, not to mention all of the other things that are going wrong. I personally am affected. It hurts me to deal and know that this goes on, and taking responsibility that this is coming from me and only I have the solution for it sort of explains why I do this channel, because unless I put out information, then I'm perpetuating the problem by just ignoring it. I can't change the world, but I can definitely share information to see if we want to be global thinkers and help each other solve these global problems. Um, so it really depends on, what kind of problems do you want to solve? Just the problems that you are dealing with? And then I've got to ask the question, why is it you don't see a problem with all of the other suffering in the world? Why is it while you create your own dream life that you aren't concerned with creating a dream life for everybody else? Why is it you wouldn't see that as a problem? And when we all, as a globe, want to take that problem on, and we all are self-responsible in that role that it takes, that's the only time that we're going to unfold world peace. And one of the biggest problems that we have with world peace is we're not global thinkers. We are very much individual thinkers. And part of what's needed is we need a description. We need that picture of what we want world peace to look like. So I'm kind of asking for you to give your description of what would world peace look like to you. Um, from my perspective, world peace means everybody in the world is experiencing their version of peace. So, how is it that we create that? How do we ensure everybody is experiencing their version of peace? The only way we're going to get that is if everybody has their say. Everybody wants to participate in what would give them peace. And until we are ready to say, here's my point of view, this would give me peace, and everybody participates in that picture of peace, then we don't have a direction of where we're even headed into. And right now, what it appears to be is we're focused on all of the complaints, all of the, I don't want this in my life. And it's like, as long as we're stuck in all of the problems, as long as we're stuck telling all of our stories of the things we don't want, we're not recognizing that we're not saying what it is we do want. So there's two paths to go into. Do you want to go down this path that you're constantly talking about? Your story, what you want to be understood for. You want some compassion. You can go down that path, and that path will only perpetuate that same story because you're constantly telling that same story. You're constantly feeling the pain from that story. And then there's another path that we can take is, this is the solution. This is what I want to feel. And if we're focused more on that, we have more potential to create that. So I'm kind of suggesting that we don't tell our stories of how bad things are, but rather let's focus on what it is we do want. Because the more we have that discussion of what it looks like, then we have more potential to unfold that. And then we need to look at what point in time do we want this to happen. And anytime, I kind of learned this from taking programming. Very, very complicated school of education. And what was happening is they were giving me impossible tasks to do within impossible time frames. It was impossible to do what they were asking within that time frame. But I noticed that every time I accomplished it. When I started off, I had no idea how I was going to accomplish it in that time frame. I had no idea. But I had a picture. They told me what the goal was. And so to point A is in the position where you know where you want to go, but you have no clue how to get there. It feels impossible. And that's where we're at with world peace. World peace feels totally impossible. And most part of it is we don't even know where we're headed. We don't know what it looks like. So we do need to have that aspect taken care of. We need to start saying what it is we want. And we need to put a time frame on it so it gets people involved within this set time. And I'm suggesting 2012 be the date, because this has a global attention. Globally, we are paying attention to that time frame. And globally, we have two paths that we can take. It can be our destruction, or it can be our big awareness of it. And we can be the ones taking responsibility for this big wake up, for this awareness that's going to happen, just by saying, by this date, we're going to achieve world peace. That gets everybody involved within a short period of time. You got to get on board with, this is what I want to look like, make it look like. And then, we have 2 years to look at the requirements needed to make that happen. And there's so much opportunity. Everybody's unemployed. We're looking at a global depression. But you know what? If we all made our living off of creating the world peace, If we have all of our requirements and find a way of earning a living by doing so, then we unfold the poverty issue because we're all participating in the problem and getting paid to do so. And we unfold word peace because we have a time frame and a picture of where we want to head. So I invite you all to make some response videos and post as much as possible and invite as many people to get involved in this discussion, because this is the only way we're going to achieve world peace and not make world peace the biggest scam going. Peace out.